Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Devil May Cry 5 playthrough. And we are in Mission 8. I forget whether this is a Nero or a V mission. I think it's another Nero mission, thank God.
Do you play most of the game as Nero?
You play more of the game as Nero than you do as V, but it's still pretty evenly split between the three characters overall. It's just that most of Dante's content is backloaded in the second half like usual.
Perfect timing. Now we're starting to act like a team.
Ew. You like flirting with me? Get in the car.
I love Nero and Nico so much. These two.
Oh my god.
Is this a new character?
This is the new character, yes. She is fully human. She is the daughter of two previous characters. One of them is Agnes from Devil May Cry 4, and the other is Gold. I forget her first name, but her last name is Goldstein. And she is the person who crafted Dante's guns in the first light novel before getting killed off.
But she's not dead. Oh, her parent. Okay.
Yes.
I thought you said that this character got killed off, and I'm like, she seems not dead to me, but you know.
My parents are dead.
Wait, no, I got that wrong. The gunsmith was actually Nico's grandmother, I think. So, Nico's mother was some...
Is that the actual Buster, the Mega Buster?
Yes.
As one of his...
Yeah, like, they made the Buster mechanic its own dedicated Devil Breaker that you get a few missions in. And they also give you back the Devil Bringer itself once you beat the game, so you can have both the Buster Arm and the Devil Bringer at the end of this, and it's actually pretty sweet.
Did Nero always have a robot arm?
No, he had a demon arm. It got ripped off by Virgil at the start of this game, though.
Oh, okay, so now he has a robot arm. Okay.
No point in turning back.
Just fucking yoinks that shit too.
No, like what Virgil does is he grabs Nero by the arm and swings him so hard that he rips off of his own arm. It's actually quite brutal.
This is brutal, but it's also like, what was it attached with a peg? Like, what's going on there?
You know, you wouldn't think it, but that feat of brutality actually took masterclass control of strength and physics to achieve the precise result Virgil was looking for in order to just not pop Nero's entire shoulder out of its socket.
Yeah, you're right. You're more likely to rip the entire arm off than just the forearm.
I'm thinking Virgil in that moment was doing intense mathematical equations in his head. Okay, exactly how much force and in what direction should I exert to rip Nero's arm
As he's coughing
off?
up a storm in his own mind because he's still very sick of it.
And I'm just like, boom! That was a good moment.
Which is also to consider, like, you guys are going into, like, the physics and math behind it, to say nothing of Nero's durability, because, I think it's safe to assume Nero's made of sterner stuff. He's not like a regular human.
Oh, yeah, he gets impaled multiple times in the in the previous game and survives.
Oh, can you still do the thing where you keep enemies in midair by juggling them with the shotgun?
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
Nero's gun has the color-up move, which does a sort of like firecracker damage effect, and that juggles the enemy too.
I don't know. I just think the idea of juggling someone with a shotgun to be very, very funny and also satisfying.
Speaking of the gun, though, Blue Rose here actually works a bit differently, just at base than it did in Devil May Cry 4. In Devil May Cry 4, Nero could fire the gun like not quite as fast as Ebony and Ivory, but close enough so that you were constantly firing and you could juggle enemies that way. The firing rate of Blue Rose is a lot slower in this game, actually. It's interesting that they decided to do that. I mean, with color up, you can still juggle enemies with Blue Rose. You're just not doing it in exactly the same way as you would with Ebony and Ivory. It helps.
I might be mistaken, but I think that was done in response to how broken the gun was in DMC4.
Well,
in the right hands.
I don't have any idea how that would be a response to that, because the normal firing was never the problem. what broke Blue...
No, it was the charge shot.
It was the charge shot, more specifically, how you could charge the charge shot while doing other things. Which you can still do in this game. They just lock it behind endgame. Like, all of Nero's charge shots work exactly the same way, and you get them back with the Devilbringer.
Never stood a chance.
So basically, like, this is the kind of game they want you to New Game Plus, is what you're telling me. Like, play through
Sort of.
effectively God mode.
It's just that in the final boss, Nero gets his devil trigger back. He doesn't have it for the entire game. He gets his devil trigger back, and he gets the Devilbringer back along with it. And they didn't like... It has all of the moves it used to have. They didn't take away anything. He gets all of his abilities from 4 back. So, there's a whole system there.
Well, isn't it funny, though? What does that say about Nero and DMC4, where him getting his full power back is considered a late game upgrade in this game? Well, I guess, okay, one major difference, he does get a proper double trigger in this game.
Yeah.
As opposed to DMC4, which was more of a JoJo stand.
Yeah.
Is DMC4 considered like the easiest, or like the one where your character is the strongest?
So, okay, if we're talking easiest, that's 2.
Okay.
For the wrong reasons, but it's certainly
ignore
easy.
2 as an outlier, because I know people don't like that one.
All right, so 4 I would consider easy. The problem is 4's campaign is very dull.
Okay.
I would argue until 5, though, it is the best combat-wise in the series.
Yeah.
Nero is so much fun in that game.
And Dante is just like, hey, you remember all those moves you could do in Devil May Cry 3? Well, here they are, except you can do them all at once instead of changing out at a statue all the time.
That's right, because that was before the Switch version just introduced the freestyle switching.
Yeah.
Switching.
Well, the Switch version introducing freestyle switching is funny because it's just something people were already doing with mods on PC anyway.
I'm
That's
just
true.
surprised they bothered to make that change to a, at that point, 15-year-old game. You know, I mean,
It's nevertheless welcomed.
Definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's just, as far as I'm aware, that's like the only thing they did to it.
Well, I mean, DMC3 is to this day by many players still considered the best in the series. So, you know, it's a classic. But implementing style switching is a fairly easy process, so I'm actually surprised it took as long as it did for them to do that. The main thing, though, is that there wasn't much else they could have done with DMC3 at that point. Because it was already in its special edition. It had already had content upgrades, you know?
That's never stopped Capcom before.
Well, I mean, what else are they going to do with DMC3, you know?
Listen, this
Add
is the company
another
that
bell and
released
whistle
Street
to it and
Fighter
charge you
2.
$30 again.
They released Street Fighter 2 8 times. They can do it again for Devil May Cry.
You know, that's a fighting game. You can always just add new characters to a fighting game.
Yeah, you can add new characters to Devil May Cry.
Well, yeah, they did that. They did that in DMC4 Special Edition. Is the thing, you know?
But that was, I mean, that you want to talk about something that people weren't expecting. It was 4 getting a special edition so many years after the fact.
They released 4 Special Edition and DMC Special Edition around the same time, and it was like, are they trying to compare these games to see which sells better?
Well, no, I think it's more like, okay, what if they don't give a shit about this? Let's give them this.
It kind of reminded me of the discourse that I heard around Darkstalkers Resurrection when that came out on PS3. It's like, this didn't sell well, so we're not doing another Darkstalkers game. And I'm like, of course it didn't fucking sell well. It's a re-release of a niche fighting game that barely anyone's ever played. Ugh.
Bring back Darkstalkers.
Darkstalkers has only had like 2 games, right?
No, it's had several.
It's had several?
It's had at least 3.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I know that Morgan's only had 1 sprite in all of them.
Yes, they did reuse sprites a lot, but to be fair, they were damn good sprites.
I know it's fair. It's just I find it funny how many games Morgan's sprite from Darkstalkers is used in. because it's like I think Marvel vs. Capcom, all the Darkstalkers games, several Capcom versus SNKs, I think all use the same Darkstalkers.
Still the same sprite. I believe it wasn't until Tatsunoko versus Capcom where they finally upgraded Morgan by virtue of it being a 3D model. That's a game I would love to see re-released. It will probably never happen because I recall it's a licensing nightmare.
Tatsunoko versus Capcom.
Tatsunoko versus Capcom is still locked behind the Wii.
Yep. And with anime being more popular than ever, those licenses are probably all over the place now.
Well, aren't they? Isn't Tatsunoko an anime company? Wouldn't they own all those characters?
Not in America.
Oh, right.
Okay, so what just happened here is actually the return of a DMC3 gimmick, where there's a platform that you have to fight enemies on, and if you let too many enemies appear on the platform falls to the bottom. I don't know why they brought this back, because it was irritating as hell in that game.
To challenge you to keep the platform afloat so that you can get the blue heart. That's reward for you afterwards, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Nostalgia. Do you remember this thing from this old game? Yeah, I hated it. Well,
Do
it's bad. It's kind of like when Mega Man brings back the disappearing blocks.
I was about to bring those up.
Or Pokemon brings back a strength puzzle. It's like, didn't you love these the first time? No. Oh, oops.
Oh, Pokemon, you make it so easy to hate you.
Yeah, you know what? They do make it very easy to hate the Pokemon. What, you're going to tell me that they'll bring back the Lieutenant Surge gym gimmick again? Oh, no, they did? Oh.
So, this is always a shitty situation to be in. I am out of Devil Breakers because I had to blow them up to get out of this guy's stupid grab moves.
See, at that point, I would just take the L and take the damage, because combat without a Devil Breaker, and before you get your Devil Bringer back, what the fuck? That's the name of the arm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weak sauce. Also, not for nothing, like that the Nero's little nub on his right arm still looks pretty dangerous. I'm pretty sure you could poke people with that.
It kind of looks a little bit like Barrett's gun arm.
Yeah,
actually,
but it's like imagine Barrett's gun arm being the noisy cricket from Men in Black.
Oh no.
He fires it and it just like
it goes flying backwards.
See, they knew that would happen though, so they gave you it. God, Nero's really lucky that somebody left their arm lying around so often.
They probably put that there because they knew you'd need to blow up your Devil Breakers to escape that enemy's grabs.
Oh no, gameplay wise, it makes sense. I'm just talking about like who ripped their arm off and put it in the middle of hell.
I think the idea is that Nico is running around scattering these things around for him. But, you know,
I also think it's one of those things that doesn't really need an explanation.
No, it doesn't.
Like, it's a gameplay, but yeah.
Well, I mean, this highly complicated
robot
arm.
I like to think it's some demon that are placing them as waymarks so that they can get their way back home.
Hansel and Gretel, they had demon arms instead of breadcrumbs? What?
Exactly. Who fucking took my bananas?
Is this highly complex robot arm specifically built for Nero's little arm nub? Ah, these fucking assholes. I hate these guys. Okay. So, these guys are... I don't know. They hang out, like, way far away in the background and constantly try to, like, teleport away from you. It's good when you can get them in a vulnerable state where you're actually able to yoink them towards you. But
Exceed melts them down pretty fast as you just demonstrated.
Yeah. It's just like, well, with Nero, they're not so bad. With V, they're also not so bad because you're fighting at range anyway. With Dante, though, these guys are annoying.
Now remind me, in the old Devil May Cry games, when you got hit, that just like broke your combo completely, right? Because in this one, I noticed you just like your meter goes down some instead of dropping it completely.
Ever since they introduced the more complex style meter, which has been with us since 3, taking damage knocks you down several ranks, but it does not completely destroy your style meter, unless you're already pretty low.
Okay.
The style meter, though, the problem there, though, is that when you get hit, you're likely to get hit again, so you usually do wind up getting knocked down to 0 anyway. But, the style meter has, existed to basically make it more deliberate to raise your style at all. Because in Devil May Cry 1 and 2, the style meter wasn't really all that responsive to the individual things you do. It mostly just raised by consistently doing things that the game registered as combo viable, which basically meant everything except your gun. Because for some reason, your gun doesn't count, according to DMC1. I don't get it. If I knock an enemy up into the air and I juggle them off with my pistols, that's pretty stylish. Everyone loves doing that. But for some reason, it doesn't really count for much.
But we got a proper statue here, because Nico's nowhere to be here.
Yeah, this is like the first time that's happened. It's weird that you can buy devil breakers from a god statue, though.
It makes sense.
Maybe Nico drops them via drones.
Like, if God created the universe, right? God could probably create robot arms.
Well,
I would think.
Well, this isn't that god. This is just the god of time. You know.
Oh, well, then he went back in time, or forward in time, to where they sell these robot arms on Amazon and got them to you.
No, plot twist. It was Doctor Who all along.
Oh, God damn it.
Doctor Who's not real. Although you have me curious. Not about Doctor Who, but let's see. Robot arm. Amazon. Oh, wow. Those are expensive.
What?
Yeah, you think?
What, you typed robot arm into...
I typed in robot arm. Yes.
Yeah, no, prosthetics are extremely expensive.
Well, no, I'm not even talking about prosthetics. Prosthetics are not even like part of this listing. It's more like those operating like crane arms that you use.
Oh, you mean like the one
that you see in like robotics and engineering? Yeah.
Oh,
you think that that would be like not cheap, but cheaper, considering that it seems more mundane nowadays.
There's a $40 one. Themes in Cosmos.
I'm not sure if I would trust a $40 robotic arm.
It's like a toy robotic arm kit for oh, it's a Toy of the Year finalist. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
What's the is it the same award? Is it the same award Bubsy 3D got?
It's a fake reward they made up.
And I like the rawhide arm. It's probably one of the most basic ones functionally, but it's fun to use once you get going with it, because like you basically just turn the entire area around Nero into a hurt box, and it hits so many times in succession that it tends to stun, or not really stun, but at least like cause all the enemies around you to stumble.
It seems like there's a lot of these things.
A lot of what? The arms?
Of arms, yeah.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of them. Not all of them are created equal, though. Like, there are several fairly lazy arms that don't really do much worth thinking about.
Okay. And I've noticed that, like, there's the engine thing in the top left corner that you have to charge. Like, what does that indicate?
That is your sword. Every charge on your sword is an exceed charge. And when you have an exceed charge, the next sword move you do, whether it is a special attack or a sword swing, will be faster and hit harder. That is the revving mechanic on Nero's motorcycle sword. Yeah, you thought Squall's gunblade was fucking stupid. How about a fucking motorcycle rev sword, motherfuckers? Yeah. Somehow it still makes more sense than the goddamn gunblade. Somehow.
It's the grip. The only thing about the gun sword that like brings it over the top for me for the gunblade, it's the grip, because you cannot hold something that big and that heavy using a pistol grip. You would break your wrist.
Well, that's why
I'm
it's
sorry.
not a pistol grip. It's like angled away so that it's like a sword grip. But
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you still have
Well,
to hold on.
come
Hold
on, Cypher's gunblade is a pistol grip. I'm not going to defend his. But then
That's stupid. He's stupid.
the thing about Cypher though is that he's such a tryhard. He's literally mimicking Laguna's pose from that one movie he does.
No,
later
it's
in the
it's
game.
pretty clearly like if you want to hold the trigger, it's a pistol grip, and there is like more edge on the bottom if you just want to use it as the sword. But my understanding is that you held it like a pistol, so that when you stabbed someone, you shot them, and then you shot a bullet into them.
No,
while
no,
you
no,
were
no.
already stabbed.
No, 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 no.
getting rid of the point
Final
of having
Fantasy. Final Fantasy VIII gunblades don't shoot things. They just like explode and vibrate or something. It's weird.
It explodes for added damage. You're essentially hitting the enemy with the exhaust of the barrel.
The only like the mechanics of the Final Fantasy VIII gunblade are never fucking explained anywhere. The only thing you ever find out is that they do indeed have some form of ammunition because there's a render where you see Squall's gunblade case with a couple big bullet things in it. But like but like
Thankfully, you never have to recharge it.
but like it's a PlayStation 1 game, so they skimp on the details and you never like go into it. The game never explains it. There's no data log entry. I kind of wish there was because I don't get that weapon. But
it's the most 12-year-old thing you can think of. Guns are cool, swords are cool. What if
in a pre-Final Fantasy 13 Ruby world, I guess nobody thought to just have a weapon that transforms between both.
No, you see, in the real world, we've had gun swords since the advent of guns. They're called bayonets, and they're pretty neat. I guess they're more gun spears, and people don't like spears, even though I think spears are cool. More video game characters should use spears.
It's funny you mention that because, like, before Final Fantasy VIII, or at least around the same time as Final Fantasy VIII, I'm not sure about the release timing, Wild Arms 2. The main character in that game uses a gun with a big ass bayonet on it. It's basically a gunblade, but you know, it's a bayonet. So
Wild Arms 2 was 1999, 2000 in North America.
well, I say I'm not sure about the release timing because I know Wild Arms and Final Fantasy VII released like within months of each other. I think Wild Arms released slightly after 7 or slightly before 7. I'm not sure, though. But Wild Arms 2 gave us a main character with a bayonet, and I'm not sure if there was any connection at all to Square's Gunblade.
Who developed Wild Arms?
That was Mediavision.
Yes, Mediavision.
Wild Arms was... Sorry, so the Wild Arms came out in late 96 in Japan.
So before
Early 97 in North America. This is before 7.
Yeah.
Man,
There's a pretty clear delineation for PlayStation RPGs of which ones were made before Final Fantasy VII and which ones were made after, considering it's like among the most influential video games ever made. So it's like, well, it needs to look at least as good as Final Fantasy VII or people won't buy it, was the mindset there.
Yeah, Wild Arms had no chance.
But 20 years later, who's laughing now? 7.
Yeah.
I mean,
Seven's still
you know,
laughing.
I was laughing at Final Fantasy VII during the Switch 2 Direct when the video screen froze and I had to like listen to the Japanese person they had talking, and then I heard Final Fantasy VII Integrated, and I'm like, oh, it looks like they're porting that to Switch 2. I'm still looking at this frozen image earlier, but it's just
That was a Twitch stream, I think.
No, it was
yeah, because
both of
it was happening. It was both of them. Oh my god.
yeah.
The North American
So it's
stream
like-
was audio desynced the entire time, and then it froze during the sizzle reel.
Oh my god, it drove me fucking insane.
It makes watching reactions very awkward because everyone's like, "Is it desynced? Is it just me, or is it like?" Ugh.
Yeah, because you see the Switch thing go together, and then a half second later, it's like, no, it feels really weird and bad. Oh man. Oh, there's platforming in this game?
A little bit.
Oh, jeez.
It's not. It's a lot. It's more fiddly than the DMC Devil May Cry platforming, but like,
So this was the part of the game that part of Bayonetta that lost me were these parts. The parts between fighting, because you can't have a video game that's all fighting. Like it will become monotonous. So you need other stuff. I always found in Bayonetta the like bits between fighting to be mostly dull. Like I didn't find there to be any meaningful exploration or platforming or anything in there. I don't know how well this game compares to that.
I think Bayonetta did that fine, but DMC5 has actually comparatively little of that. This moment here is actually an outlier. There aren't a lot of moments like this. This sequence just reads like, yeah, you guys remember that stuff we did in DMC4? Well, we're doing a bit of that again. We hope you like it. You didn't like it before, but you're gonna like it now. But
yeah, it
but also we know that you don't like it much, so
it reminds me a bit of like when you're playing a classic beat 'em up, and then the arrow goes like boop boop boop, walk to the right, and then you walk to the right for 30 seconds, and then you go back to beating up people. It feels like the 3D version of that, only instead of it being 30 seconds, it's like 5 minutes sometimes. Usually more like 2 or 3, to be fair.
A bonfire.
I was like, wait, what's this? Ah, secret mission.
Secret tunnel. Secret tunnel.
This fucking mission. I hate it so much. Fortunately, once you find the secret missions, you don't need to find them again to do them. You can just select them from the mission menu. Thank God.
I believe Dante has a similar mission, but it's a cakewalk when you're using the motorcycle gauntlets.
Anyway, even though we're inside the demon tree and there's actual lava around, why don't we play a game of the floor is lava?
Yeah, you know, when you mention it like that, it does seem a little bit less enticing to play that game. It's like, oh, the floor is lava. Yeah, it's all the way over here. There, we're fine.
Anyway, this mission is a fucking pain in the ass because you not only need to shoot the grapple points to trigger them, you need to grapple at the correct angle to get both height and distance.
Yeah, because I think if you approach him from above, when you close the gap, Nero doesn't gain any height. Like, he'll instead just start falling down.
Yes.
So you have to, like, make sure that you drop enough so that you launch back upwards.
Yeah, so that you're approaching it from an upward angle, or from a downward angle.
The thing is, DMC Devil May Cry also did these kind of like multi-grapple platforming bits, but it tended to use them in areas that weren't so close to the ground, and it did stuff like letting you use your little angel air dash to get more, to get more distance.
Ooh, I can feel you panicking.
My palms were so I was almost there.
Oh.
Man. This sucks.
This should, you know what? Hold on. I need to pull up the Board the Platforms music from Smash 64. Hold on a moment.
This is me resetting because I realized that I wasted my double jump. You only get one double jump, by the way, until you manage to jump off of either the ground or an enemy's head. You don't get to reset your double jump. So...
Oh my god, this fits so well. Oh my god, this fits so great. Nero for Smash Brothers 1.
Success.
I'm surprised they never brought that minigame back, considering it is a platform fighter.
Wasn't it in Brawl and really bad?
No, it's only been in 64.
It's only been in 64.
Oh, they brought back Bake the Targets in Brawl, and it was bad.
The worst thing is you have to wait for a beat after each grapple for the lock-on indicator to appear over top of the thing that you're trying to shoot at. And heaven help you if you hate screen clutter and decided to shut the lock-on indicator off. Which I usually do. I only left it on for this playthrough because it displays the health bar.
Oh, for the enemy that you're fighting?
Yeah.
I guess it also helps the viewer to know why did that version just randomly cut off mid? No, I like the Board the Platforms music.
Well, it explains why the part's 46 minutes long.
No, I don't think I spent quite that long on this mission. No, it's 46 minutes long because from this point on, the missions are just that long. Come on. Come on.
Are all of the extra missions, like, weird stuff like this?
Yes. And you know, you might think that's something that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but you know, we had a game full of secret missions that were just combat challenges. That game was Devil May Cry 2.
Let me. Did you say just had a game?
What?
No, never mind. Like, I thought you phrased it in a way like we just had a game where all the secret missions were just combat challenges. I was like, just had a game. What the fuck are you talking about? DMC2 came out like 20 years ago.
Yeah, you know, a game can't just be combat, even if the combat is spectacular, because, like,
That's the problem. DMC2's combat wasn't by man.
Oh, okay. Listen.
But you know, But you know, maybe this is our fault. I mean, we did praise Square to high heaven for creating a game where half the time you're playing jank-ass minigames all the time. You know?
Which one's that?
Final Fantasy VII. Have you played those minigames? They are not polished.
Which 7 and...
The original 7. I
don't listen. I praise some things about Final Fantasy VII. I don't praise the stupid mini games. They're all terrible.
It's like you know, it's like as much as I love that fucking game, like I still to this day cannot play the fucking submarine game smoothly. I mean,
smoothly. All you do is mash square.
Have you tried the actual like
the actual mini game in the Gold Saucer?
Yes.
It's been years, but I have. But that's probably a reason for that.
You see, that's why I never got the Golden Saucer memes. It's just like, oh, saving the world, better go to the Golden Saucer. Listen, bitch, I've played RPGs with good mini games and good casinos. The Golden Saucer.
But Ted, G-Bike.
What's G-Bike? No, the bike minigame? I didn't like that one. I don't remember liking that one.
Okay,
it's been 10 years.
Here's the thing about the G-Bike minigame. It controls fine-ish, but the camera is weird. And the enemy AI is programmed to annoy you. What am I doing? Oh, I was trying to get that gold orb. I didn't even see that while I was looking at the footage.
Why'd you do that?
He was angry.
I didn't mean to touch the lava, but I wanted the gold orb that was hidden up at the top of the waterfall.
Gold orb? Rats. I was looking for $1 million.
You know, I call it lava, but it's technically human blood.
Okay, hold on, John. I've got it. Time is money, right? Golden orbs revive you if you die, therefore giving you more time. Therefore, a golden orb is worth $1 million.
This was the most random ass blue orb fragment in the game. You just go kill a vine tentacle that's hiding behind an elevator and a blue orb spawns, and I'm just like,
I think it's just the process of going behind the elevator. Like, are you the kind of dude that explores every nook and cranny before heading to the obvious prog point, or do you just go straight to the prog point?
Yeah. Like treasure chests in Final Fantasy 13. Except this time there was something actually valuable in it. You know, the thing that fucking pisses me off about Final Fantasy 13 the most is that they give you materials out the ass in treasure chests and enemy drops and everything for half the fucking game before they even let you use any of them. And it's just like...
What is this mysterious arcane device that Nero is using?
So, think you can make your way here?
I think it's a record player. This party's getting crazy.
The numbers on his fist.
Yeah, this is the ragtime devil breaker. So I guess it's got a timer display for its little freezy time bubbles.
He's got a Nixie watch
on
his palm.
How did you get that car up here?
She drove up.
Gotta keep the magazine.
Of course.
Okay, this woman should not have a driver's license.
Who says she does?
Or is that the joke?
I mean, to be fair, in defense of driving class, do they teach you how to drive up giant demon trees?
They teach you not to.
Do they? I don't remember.
They teach you to stay on the road, so I would say yes, they teach you not to drive
So
up.
unless it only works if there's a road on the actual tree.
Man. I wish I had the option of staying on the road. But you know, as an Amazon delivery driver, sometimes you get sent to the weirdest fucking places.
Damn, I was hoping you'd say, I wish I had the option to stay on the road, but as an Amazon driver, I'd choose to go off-road just to get there on fucking time.
You can drive virtually anywhere.
I don't care how many lawn flamingos I crush.
Is there a reason why you don't bring the max amount of arms with you?
So that I can pick up more along the way.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That makes sense.
Ooh, more health.
So is there a reason that she takes payment in red blobs that you find on the ground?
She's the daughter of the guy who did all the mad science demon-y stuff in DMC4, so she actually creates demon-related things. She actually gives Dante a magical demon hat made from one of the demons in DMC4 that shoots red orbs as weapons in a sort of risk-reward system to get more red orbs from them.
Oh, that's neat.
I imagine she uses the red orbs you pay her to create shit like that.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's where the red orbs are going, to fund her research.
It is crystallized demon blood, after all. She has a demon, a God of Time statue on her desk, which you use to pay red orbs for the other stuff. So maybe she uses the red orbs as currency to deal with that statue.
This little statue won't shut up if I don't give her red orbs.
Man, I got...
Oh, no, you're very rude.
I got a little too into playing around while recording this.
Let's see.
There's only one Nero.
I think this is the part where we find out that Nero needs glasses. I'm seeing double. 4 demons. There's only one.
You see, knowing Devil May Cry, though, instead of just getting glasses, he'd get demon eyes instead, or robot eyes, I guess, in this instance. That you can throw your eyeballs out of your sockets and then replace them with new eyes.
So he's General Tao from Dragon Ball?
Sure. I understand that reference.
The guy has, like, frickin' like, binocular eyes that like, zoom in and out of his face.
I always took it that was just his face after the explosion in the original Dragon Ball.
It was probably like one of the only like interesting filler callbacks that I remember is General Tao just randomly showing up as a mob boss's flunky, like during the Cell saga.
Like the wait for the Cell games, essentially.
Hey, dude.
Yeah.
Miss me?
So he gets to encounter Super Saiyan Goku and realize just how far out of his league he's fallen.
No body? No dried up Dante jerky? Nothing?
Wait, is that Dante?
No. Dante is nowhere to be found.
Urizen, huh?
Well, then why did he bring up...
Because this is where Dante lost at the beginning of the game.
Oh, okay.
So this is Urizen. He is, for now, the main antagonist. At the beginning of the game, Dante got his ass kicked, Lady and Trish got their asses kicked. You get to get your ass kicked as Nero, unless you really persevere and manage to trigger the alternate ending, with no arm and no moves, and don't bother, it's not fun.
Oh, so this is a you're supposed to lose boss fight where you can win but then still lose. Okay.
No, it's a... All of the Urizen boss fights are boss fights where you can win, and if you win, you trigger an alternate ending.
Oh, an alternate ending, like you beat the game right then?
Yeah, it's not a very impressive alternate ending. It's just a text box that basically said, and then the world was saved, and everyone was happy.
The end.
You're a winner.
It is a kind of a chilling alternate ending when you realize that you just killed Virgil for good, but, you know.
Well, like, okay, this is gonna sound callous, but, like, doesn't he kind of deserve it? Isn't he, like, a giant douchebag? Who
It's complicated.
Murdered uncountable people?
Well, yes. In Devil May Cry 3, he did. In this,
well,
it's
no,
a
just
little
now, if he raised a demon tree and murdered a whole city.
In this, it's a little more complicated because it's not Virgil in his right mind doing this. It's actually Virgil split into two people, and this is his demon half. So, there's no humanity in this half of him. The other half is trying to stop his demon half, but, you know, he's the full human part, so he's a weak and feeble man with a cane who has to rely on demons to do his fighting for him.
Does killing this guy kill human Virgil too?
No, well, if you kill him without giving him the chance to merge, yes. because V starts to crumble soon after this. He's losing his energy and passing away.
Oh, so V is Virgil. Okay. I was wondering if he actually was.
V's Virgil's humanity.
V and Virgil are two halves of the same person. They both have aspects of his personality. Urizen got stuck with all the give me more power half of his personality. So this is the douchebag. V is a pretty okay guy though. He's a nerd who likes poetry.
Oh, because in the Dante's Inferno, Virgil is a poet. Oh, I get the reference. I'm so smart and good looking.
I didn't know getting references was directly correlated to attractiveness.
Absolutely, which is why if
I think
you
when
watch
it goes as far
BrainScratch,
back as Dante's Inferno, I think you get brownie points in attractiveness too.
No, not really, because Dante's Inferno is like some of the most low.
I'm trying to cut you some slack, Ted.
No, I don't deserve it. It's just like, oh wow, I made a reference to William Shakespeare. Aren't I so cultured? Not really. Everybody has to read that in school. Dipshit. Oh wait, hold on. Is that bottom part his health bar? Like, have you not done any damage to him? Period.
Well, the thing about Urizen when he's sitting down like this is that he actually has a crystal that absorbs all the attacks directed at him. Your objective for this fight was to break that crystal so that you could finally land a goddamn attack. That triggers Urizen's second phase, where he actually gets off his goddamn ass and fights you. Up until this point, you might think that Urizen is a Devil May Cry 2 style boss where he just sits in one place and launches attacks at you. Because everyone loves those kind of bosses, am I right, fellas? But, you know, he's not. He's just not taking you seriously up until this point. Now that you've actually managed to land a scratch on him, well, now you have to fight him for real. At the beginning of the game, you have to beat, like, you have the option of trying to beat Urizen while he's sitting down. At this point in the game, you have the option of trying to beat Urizen while he's standing up. You can beat him in both cases, but you're not supposed to. The version of Urizen that's standing up, you're not supposed to beat until you fight him as Dante at the end of the game. It's a lot easier to fight him as Dante at the end of the game because you have Sin Devil Trigger. And Sin Devil Trigger just makes mincemeat of everything. He still has his frickin' crystal, too, which is the real tough part, because you have to keep breaking the crystal and then dealing damage to him. It is very hard to focus on damaging Urizen when you can't even enemy step around him.
I always found that a visually confusing aspect of the design because I remember when I initially got to this part, in both this and the original, I always thought the crystal was like an enemy that you couldn't afford to touch. But like, it's you have to break it first before you can do any damage to Urizen.
Yeah.
So, like, if you die here, the game just won't use one of your revival orbs, and then it'll keep on going?
It'll keep on going, yeah.
Okay. Because, like, I would find it a little obnoxious if you had to go through all of your revival orbs and then die for real in order to...
That would be horseshit.
Yeah.
Man, got so much tomato sauce on my face. It's all in my hair and stuff.
You got red on you.
Uh-oh, I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going.
This disdain for humanity is also a major part of Virgil's character. That's basically the psychology of the two twins, is that they both initially rejected half of themselves. Dante in Devil May Cry 3 had a big aversion to his father. He just did not give a shit. And he could not care less about his demon side. Accepting both halves of himself was part of his character arc there.
Are we supposed to know who that is?
It's Dante.
Oh, that's Dante? Okay.
Yeah, like it's if you played the games beforehand, it's pretty obvious that it's Dante.
Okay, well, I don't recognize the character, so I didn't
Okay,
know.
then it's not Dante.
It's not Dante? Oh, okay.
It's yeah.
Well, how did Dante get back to this point? How did he survive getting his ass handed to him by Urizen at the beginning of the game? All of this and more, several parts from now, because we have to play as V before we get to that point.
Fuck.
Damn cliffhangers.